What's up, gamers? So today, we got something a little different. We got Man Gets Lost in the Catacombs of Paris, part 1 of 2. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have already recorded this video. But the audio in the background did not record. So, let's just jump right into it.
Paris, France, a city of stunning beauty and light.
Okay, right off the bat, you can tell this is an older video. And they chose the most clear parts of the video for the thumbnails.
But underneath Paris, there is a darker world. Below the city lies a labyrinth of ancient tunnels and mass graves known as the catacombs.
I am aware that
Dangerous and largely unmapped, the catacombs have been sealed off to the public for decades.
That's dumb. The public goes into the catacombs anyways. What's the point of sealing them off? Oh, my doggo came in. Look at that. Hey, Remy. Oh, you good boy. Okay, gamers. One second. Here he is. The baby dog. Oh, he heard something. Oh, you just have to get away. Hold on, gamers. He went outside. I'll be right back. Alright, gamers. I am back. I took my doggo outside. And it's time to continue the video.
Below the city lies a labyrinth of ancient tunnels and mass graves known as the catacombs. Dangerous and largely unmapped, the catacombs have been sealed off to the public for decades. It is down here that a video camera containing mysterious footage was discovered.
This video camera was found deep in the catacombs. It was picked up by a catacomb explorer, some of the people who wandered down there. It was given to me. I looked at the tape. It's very bizarre. It's a point of view shot. The point of view shot is somebody just walking forwards with the camera. So basically he's filming what he's seeing very deep inside the catacombs. Other than the point of view shots.
1 second, gamers. I thought I might as well turn on subtitles.
Or pictures of bones. Human bones.
Who in their right mind picks up a human skull and is just like, oh yeah, I know like half the people in Paris have died from plagues, but you know, it's fine, I'll just pick up this human skull, it's great, it's all good.
In 1785, millions of bodies were exhumed from Paris cemeteries and dumped into the catacombs.
This person occasionally stops and he photographs bones, often in the shape of an arrow. These arrows point in a direction. Occasionally...
I'm sure there had to be a map of, like, the catacombs. There had to be one that used to exist, like, what happened to it. Another thing that's pretty interesting, why is there catacombs under France? The people in 1785 didn't build the catacombs, I don't think. So how old are the catacombs? And another thing, how are they holding up Paris? They stretch all through Paris. How are they holding them up? I feel like there should be at least a few cave-ins of the catacombs. Like, I'm surprised Paris hasn't just fallen into it altogether. Hold on, my dog wants out. I'll let the video play.
Also, he stops to photograph roomfuls of bones, which means that he's very, very deep inside the catacombs. What happened to him? Nobody knows.
Filmmaker Francis Friedland was determined to solve the mystery of the Lost Catacombs Explorer.
Was that an axe made out of bone?
Lost Catacombs Explorer.
I believe that is an axe made out of bones.
I mean, there are 400 miles of tunnels like this. So I brought the tape to a cataphile, an urban explorer.
400 miles. Guys, Paris isn't that big, by the way. Paris is relatively small.
Cataphiles are strange people. They're people who have this passion for the catacombs. These people go down there to find new passages, new entries, new bones. Lézard is probably the person in Paris who knows the catacombs better than anyone. So according to Lézard, the person was not someone who knew his way around. My intention right now is to go down with a still photographer, Vincent, a friend. I'm also going to take an excellent sound man, Francis, to spend some time in the catacombs and try to solve the mystery.
What's the point of bringing a sound man? It's gonna sound terrible no matter what you do. Because, one, you're in a large, echoey, cavernous region, and two, everything is wet. What's the point of bringing good audio stuff down there? It's kind of just a waste of room. Let's continue.
There are ways to match things up, to try to identify where this person was in the catacombs. At times you'll see there's signs, painted signs on the wall, which is not uncommon. People have been painting in the catacombs for centuries. So it is possible with these paintings that we may be able to retrace an itinerary to some extent.
Centuries. That means it's at least 3 centuries old, I'm guessing.
After about 40 minutes of these point-of-view shots and these pictures of bones, the person begins to walk faster and faster. Then he begins to run. We hear his breathing get louder and louder, as though something was scaring him. He's frightened, he's frightened. Occasionally he stops, perhaps to try to decide which way to run among all the many different corridors. He's running faster and faster and faster, deeper and deeper into the catacombs. And all of a sudden, he drops the camera. He just dropped. The camera just drops on the ground and keeps rolling. And you see...
Where did you find the camera? I feel like that would be a good place to start looking. I mean, am I right? Like, where would the camera have been found? You should probably start looking there. Because, well... what do you think would happen? Start looking where he dropped the camera. Then maybe try to run through like he did, leaving trail markers unlike he did, to figure out where he went. That simple.
His feet just run away. And it keeps rolling until it runs out of tape. Francis and I are going to now meet the director of the Catacombs Museum, who has nothing to do with the cataphiles, doesn't even want to know about the cataphiles, but he may have some information, and hopefully he can let us look at some maps of the catacombs.
In Paris, you have as many miles of tunnels underground as there are streets above ground.
So make it a tourist attraction. Literally everything in Paris is a tourist attraction. nobody really cares about France. Like, some important people are from France, or at least they were important until they died. There's not that many important people left in France. There's a lot of history in France, and I think that's why people care about it. So I think lining the catacombs with like LEDs, maybe like LED strips, would help a whole lot with that, because you could charge people, I don't know, $2,000 just to go in. Like, LED strips, you can just keep adding them onto each other. Like, grab 1 mile of LED strips, what, that's $200 maybe? And that's a mile for every $200. So let me do the math just real quick. Okay. How many miles?
In Paris, you have as many miles of tunnels underground as there are streets above ground.
Okay, so that's where we start. You just gotta use Google real quick. How many miles of streets are there in Paris? Let's see. You see, France is actually pretty big, but they make a lot of their money off of tourism from Paris. I don't know how France is still around, because, like I said, it's pretty big, and they make most of their money off of tourism. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. How many miles of streets are there in Paris? Well, I guess it just doesn't exist then. Let's see. Let's see if the video says it.
No one knows just how many passageways exist in the catacombs, but we believe that they go down over 300 feet.
300 feet. Okay, so just line the top layers with lights then. It's that simple. Also, there's a jumping spider on my window. Not gonna do anything to him, he's just kinda there.
Some are filled with water, and many tunnels have collapsed over the years.
Some tunnels are filled with water, and many of them have collapsed. Which, yeah, that's to be expected. But, how do people not notice when these tunnels collapse? Like, let's think about this logically. What happens during, I don't know, what's that thing that happens a lot in wet places? Yeah. Okay, water gets sucked up from the ground, and then there's an empty pocket of air, and then that air collapses, sucking everything in around it. I'm guessing that's what should happen with the catacombs, but they are rather small, so you might only see a divot in the ground, but that's a lot of architecture, and the catacombs are very, very old. I don't know how they're still around. It doesn't make any sense.
It's an enormous maze. We think there are as many as 7 levels to it, spreading under the
7 levels? Okay, they had to have had maps. There's no way they didn't have maps.
entire city.
How do you get into the catacombs? Illegally, of course. And the idea is to find an entrance. The problem is that the authorities keep shutting him down. Apparently, Lizard has found a new way to get in. But it's way out from the center of town. It's actually on the edge of the city, through the railroad tracks for about a mile. And then this little hole in the ground, and we have to crawl through it. And we'll try to solve the mystery if we can.
Also, how did this air on ABC Family? I'm pretty sure human bones are a dead, like piles and piles of human bones are a dead giveaway to not air this on ABC Family. Just saying.
This anonymous videotape was discovered deep in the catacombs beneath the streets of Paris.
Oh. Okay, gamers, so that voice that narrates the lines of text here gets deeper as the video goes on. It always has a light growl to it.
This videographer, he could still be down there. Maybe he found his way out. Nobody knows. My intentions now, as I've seen the tape, is to go down there, to try to find out what happened. So we'll try to solve the mystery if we can. So the trick is to watch not only your feet, but your head. I have never been very deep into the catacombs before. Very
Okay.
few people have.
What's that on, like, down here?
Already when you enter the catacombs, the first few hundred yards are already scary.
Must really suck to go in there if you're big. Like, small people would have a pretty easy time in there, but if you're like bigger than the average guy, then it must really suck down there. I get it. People, when this was made, were smaller because of malnutrition, but seriously? Are you kidding me?
You have to crawl. You can bump your head. It's pitch black. You trip upon rocks, holes. You can fall pretty deep.
Pretty deep. Does that?
Holes. You can fall pretty deep.
Pretty deep, huh? I want them to drop something that hole. Because I'm pretty sure this black part down here is not where that hole stops. I'm pretty sure that hole just leads to the next level, which, wait, they could just jump in the hole, but they'd have a hard time getting out from the hole.
There are 400 miles of tunnels within the catacombs. Many of these passages lead to lower levels.
Really, the tunnels are so incredibly vast, our chances of finding the lost man.
Also, you're walking in dead people water. That water is filled with dead people. Like, there's no way the microorganisms got all of it. No. That water's filled with, like, proteins. It's just a lot.
Are probably very slim.
Fréquenté, où il y a des graffitis, représente quand même.
But we do know by looking at his video.
Oh, and diseases that have already been eradicated for a long time, you know, like the Black Plague, several plagues. France kind of just sucked for a long time, didn't it?
That he got as far as these lower levels, where we are now.
Anybody can get lost in here. I mean, imagine just running out of batteries on your flashlight. You're dead. You're dead. It's true. I mean, just look at this. You lose your flashlight. What happens? We're finished. We're dead.
I don't know, maybe something you could light on fire to use as light, and that way you're not, like, freezing. I'm sure it has to be very cold down there. It's either very cold or hot and humid, and I actually prefer it to be very cold. I hate humidity. I hate being hot. you know, being hot for a shower every now and then is a-okay, but just doing that all the time in a catacomb, I think it's cold humidity. Like the water they're all walking in, you know, the dead people water, that has to be pretty cold. But the air is probably warm. So it's really just a bad combination of everything.
The explorers traveled 6 miles into the catacombs with no sign of the lost man.
Okay, 6 miles, so I know it's at least 6 miles long. Okay.
This is my own opinion, but this is far too deep for an amateur to be messing around. He must have lost his way down some passage and died.
After 6 hours, the group was exhausted and running low on batteries. Francis decided to abandon the search.
There's a manhole up there, which is supposed to be open to get out, but apparently it's locked or Lizar's having a difficult time.
Well, maybe knock on the manhole. Like, pretty sure if people hear you knocking on it, they'll be like, oh, whoa, okay. Somebody's in there. Better let them out. Like, come on, man.
Open it up. We're gonna have to backtrack and walk back the 5 or 6 miles that we had coming here. That would be hours and hours and hours. And let's hope our batteries don't die in us in the meantime. So close, yet so far. We're 10 feet from freedom and we can't get out.
Okay, so I think the last record Paris actually kept of the catacombs was in 1807, when it was kind of just when they kind of freely let people wander down there, because it was like slightly more safe, I'm guessing.
It's about 60 feet from here to the street. Well, it looks like a manhole.
You didn't bring like a flare gun, maybe? Pretty sure if you shot like a flare up there, that would be pretty helpful. Like, it looks like there's light on that manhole, so it means it's probably still day out. Which also means you could probably just scream and somebody would throw down a ladder, maybe. I don't know. Maybe some rope. I don't know. It's crazy how life works, you know. You ask for help and you might get help.
There's no way to get out of there. You need to be a mountain climber to get out of it. I think I saw this on the tape.
Oh, time for part 2. I think part 2 is... yeah.
I think I saw this on the tape. This figure. With the arms outstretched, the legs outstretched. And then I think after this, the camera turns right.
Donc là, on va passer sur un passage de...
This is really dramatic. That's a lot of bones. I'm standing on dozens of corpses, just walking on them.
He didn't take that path, though. Like, he went left of the bones in the video, unless you just didn't show us him walking through actual human bones. This isn't really okay, guys. Why would you do this? Like, one, it's disrespectful, and two, it's freaking gross. Jeez, man. You know the 80s or 90s were like a different time and all, but how stupid you gotta be. How dumb do you have to be to do this? Like, even a little common sense would have helped a ton here. Oh, and also those holes they mentioned. Yeah, there's probably a few of those under the bones, and you know, these bones are potentially hundreds of years old, which would mean they're pretty brittle, which would mean you could stand on them, and if there's a hole underneath them, they'll snap.
You can't see the bottom. I don't even know how deep this is. We could be walking on thousands of corpses here. Look how deep this thing goes.
You're bare.
It looks like the killing fields. According to les arts, if you search through these catacombs, you could find the gate to hell. Perhaps this person found it by accident. This is the gate to hell.
Okay, yeah, sure it is, bud, but it just looks like a corridor of bones. Like, a lot of people died in France due to many plagues, because France was, a dumb, and they didn't do their they didn't bother to do enough research to see the correlation of, you know, washing your hands won't kill you or give you heart disease. In fact, it will help you not die. I know, crazy, right? But maybe the French king just wanted to do some crowd control. Speaking of washing your hands, do it. You know, it's probably good for you too, you know, like, not doing it is just kind of gross. You're gross if you don't wash your hands, just saying. Go wash your hands right now. Wash your hands right now. Do it. Make sure to subscribe as well. But don't do it with your stinky, unwashed hands. Go wash your hands, then hit that subscribe button. Right down there. Let's just get back into it.
$12 underground. I'm sorry that I got my buddies involved in this. It's very tough. We didn't solve the mystery. I don't think anyone ever will. There's too many miles of tunnels in there. But we'll never understand.
They were averaging an hour per mile. That's a lot of time. To be fair, they're probably stopping to look at stuff because they're in a catacomb. But an hour a mile? Are you kidding? Because they went 6 miles in, and then they had to go the 6 miles back. So they averaged an hour a mile. Like, really? You could have walked a little faster.
But frightened whoever it was that dropped the stake.
Whoever it was that dropped that tape is probably dead. Lost and lone in the Paris catacombs. Oh look, found footage. Nope. Well, gamers, as you can see, well, as you can see, I watched through both of those videos. They're pretty interesting. Oh look. Somebody that looks significantly more boring than me. I'm not boring. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And hit the bell icon. Leave a dislike if you want to. Just make sure you can leave a like as well. Use a different account if you have to. Leave a like, leave a dislike, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. Do any of those things. I'll be happy. With that said, my homies, I'm head out.